again for joining us here at Virginia Beach Wing Chun. Today we're going to go over the second part of that spring arm video I did a few weeks ago. So by this point you guys should have had enough time to practice with the spring arm and get those sets down pretty good. So today we're also going to show, for those who don't have the spring arm, how you can do this with a partner, and then we're going to show the progression of how to do the spring arm training itself. Okay? So if you don't have a spring arm, a nice fancy spring arm like we practiced last week, and you have someone that you are comfortable with, or you're living with somebody, so for all you guys, get your wives or your girlfriends just to basically hold an arm out, they just kind of hold this, and then just have them just aim back at you the whole time. So again, you're looking for that pressure to come back towards your center the whole time. Because again, we're trying to practice how to redirect that energy going back and forth from side to side. So when we're here, you treat this the exact same way, and you can actually see the fist this time. So this is where the end of the spring arm would finish, and then you have all this. So everything that we were doing for the spring arm is still up to here. So when we practice and we do all our turns and that sort of stuff, we're here, and the whole time your partner is trying to aim back towards you, and you can actually see where the punch is going to be coming from and coming to, okay? So again, once you've done all 5 of those spring arm sets and you get good at practicing them, you can kind of mix it up, kind of like how I'm doing here. You don't have to do the set itself, but you can go back and you can add that set back in, and then kind of practice how it flows and from what other things you can do, okay? Now, there are some other things that we haven't done in those sets that you can add in to this practice once you start to get to the free flow a little bit. So things like Quan Sao, right? Lan Sao Tan Sao, right? Or Hak Sao, okay? Or anything else you really know from the Chi Sao itself, and you can make it make sense for either on the spring arm, or in this case, since you have a partner, for it to make sense for a partner. Like you wouldn't do this on a partner, on the inside. You would do here and pull here, because that makes sense a little bit more. All right? So once you have that down and you are easily comfortable in going from side to side without really having to think, and you can just flow nice and easy, and you're not losing a whole lot of contact with the person, then we can start adding the footwork into it. So the first bit of footwork that we're going to add, like always, is the triangle step. So after you learn how to turn, you learn how to just move from side to side. All right? And everything else still stays the same. You're still doing the continuous motion, right? But you're adding it from side to side. So it has to make sense for where you're turning, okay? So you can use Tan Sao to Bong Sao to get that transition, right? You can use Gun Sao to make these transitions from in and out, palms, right? But anything that makes sense for redirecting it to this way that you're turning from and turning to, okay? Now some things aren't going to make a whole lot of sense, like if you have your Tan Sao low, and your partner is giving you pressure more sideways, right? You can't do that. You can't try and like hook under and bring it up and force it up. Now, if they're giving you pressure up, sure, yes. But if you want to go to Bong Sao and they're giving it to you more low this way, you can go over and make Bong Sao go that way. And then we can add the big lop Sao in and that sort of stuff. Again, you know, if you're not quite sure if it makes sense or not, talk with your Sifu or your other partner, with your partner or any other senior instructor that you have. But after you do triangle step, okay, then we add going forward and going backwards. Okay, so with this, I give it 3 different positions, right? You have your normal neutral position, there's a forward position, and then there's a back position where you're far back from it, okay? Now, this plays a part in a lot of other techniques that you do when you're doing things like Pak Sao Jam, or you're coming forward to do things like elbows, or you want to make a little bit more contact towards the neck or something, because here I can't reach, but here I can come forward and I can reach. But see, now I'm entered that forward position. So from here in this forward position, I can't just change to the other side because I'm too close, all right? So from here, I either have to go back to the neutral position and change sides that way, or I have to go back to the far rear position and then come forward this way. And again, if I'm here, I'm in this forward position, right? I can't just change here, right? If you are changing and this can rub you or this can make contact to you, you're too close. You need to make sure that you can go back and then change, and you can go back to turning. That's fine. You can mix it back in with turning and then come forward, right? You're here, boom, come forward, I'm over. Now I go back to here, or I can come here and then go back this way and then come around to the side. So it has to make sense for kind of what you're doing. But the main rule with this is if you're forward, you can't change sides when you're forward. You have to be in neutral or the rear. All right. The other one is if you're trying to do this kind of side-to-side motion, like if you're going from like Paxal to this kind of pull, you better be in the back part. Because being in the neutral part with that is really close. So you're here, you're in the rear, and you come here and then come forward. Okay? Or you're here and you want to pull this way, or you're going here. Right? You better be a little bit farther back for this so you make sure you're clear. Okay? Alright. Thanks again for joining us on this week's video. Stay tuned and we'll bring you another one with more good Wing Chun knowledge. All right. Thanks again, guys.